everybody, I'm Kate Conroy.
And I'm Vinny Sabatello.
And this is Other People's Business, which is the podcast from the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, which is the largest statewide business association in the USA. For more info on us, visit njbia.org. Just an FYI, we release a new episode every other Friday, so be on the lookout. Shout out to NJ Manufacturers Insurance. They provide home, auto, and workers' comp, and they're the official sponsor of the show, so check them out if you need some insurance.
Before we get started, just a quick reminder, if you like our show, please subscribe. Check us out on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you can get a podcast, we're there. If you're not really into the whole podcast thing, we're on YouTube, so you can check us out there too without having to subscribe to all that podcast stuff. If you like us, give us 5-star reviews anywhere where you happen to be listening to this. It helps get our show out there and get us discovered.
If you hate us, just send us an email.
Or give us the 5-star review anyway. It's fine.
Exactly.
So with us today is Lou DeMartino. Lou, say hello. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Lou DeMartino, a financial advisor at Merrill Lynch, and also the owner of a great business called Pour and Pedal Wine and Bike Tours.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's
What do you, pour and pedal? So you get on a bike and you
drink wine? That sounds like almost a good idea.
I know, right? Tell me more.
Yeah, it's a fun time. So essentially we have 5 locations, and what we do is we take people from one vineyard to the next on bikes. We provide the helmets, bikes, tour guides. You just show up in comfortable clothes, and we take care of the rest. And it's private exclusive tours with lunch at 5 different locations.
With lunch?
Yep.
And are people in okay condition to jump in their cars at the end? And yeah.
Well, to say nothing of the bikes.
Right. I mean, I think we've established I'm a big fan of wine. Right. So I'm curious, getting, from point A to point D and then C and then D on the bikes and all that. How does that go?
Yeah,
it's fine, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I fumbled that a little bit. I was thinking after a few wines, I'd be like point A to point G to point 12 to F. So how does that all work out?
No, great questions. So we have methodical tastings throughout the tour, and our tour guides are trained such that they kind of watch everyone to make sure that they're not overindulging. And we do have a support vehicle. So for example, we were just in Cape May a couple weeks back. We had a bachelorette party. They were fine. Everything was great. But in the event that people want to purchase wine, if they happen to drink a little more, I mean, they really can't the way the process is. Yeah, the tour guides are really taking care of making sure that they're not drinking too much. And they're biking, they're having lunch, they're going between the vineyards, burning the calories off. So it's really tough for someone to really overindulge. But we do have process in place to make sure that they get safely from one vineyard to the next. And the support vehicle can take them, if they so choose to, pull the bike off, hop in the support vehicle, and head to the next vineyard.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah, that sounds like what are the locations?
So 5 locations. Here in New Jersey we have 3. So we're in Ringos, which we work with Old York Cellars and Unionville Vineyards. And then we're in New Egypt with Cream Ridge Winery and Larita Winery. And then most recently we opened up down in Cape May. We work with Hawkhaven Winery and Cape May Winery.
Nice.
And then in New York we're in North Fork, Long Island, and then in the Hamptons, Southampton.
Fabulous.
Yep. So
I got to investigate that for like a girls' weekend or something. That could be really fun, I think.
Yeah, we do a ton of corporate events or bachelorette parties, get-togethers, 50th birthday party. I mean, you name it.
Is it 7 days a week?
You wouldn't think about that as a bachelorette party kind of thing, like getting crazy
on my bike.
with somebody stopping you like, hey, ma'am, you've had a little too much.
Yeah, more
It's an extremely responsible bachelorette party.
I agree. It's kind of a nice thing.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice change of pace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we get all different. I mean, probably funny story. We had someone when we first started. It was a 60th birthday party, and the daughter called me up and said, "Lou, I want to see, how long is the distance?" And every location there, they vary anywhere from let's say 4 to 8 miles each way, pretty leisurely. And she had asked me, she said, "Lou, it's my 60th, my mother's 60th birthday party. I want to make sure, everyone's going to be okay, and how's the bike riding going?" I said, "Well, it should be fine." I said, "Is your mom active?" She said, "It's not for my mom, it's for me. I'm worried about my mom's a triathlete. I'm worried that I could make it." I said, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." Sure enough, I mean, mom came with bananas and all that, but it's, we make sure that everyone, we want to accommodate to a wide demographic.
Totally. I have a good friend who rides bikes pretty regularly, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did 20 miles over the weekend, or I did, just on a Saturday afternoon." And I think about miles in terms of the treadmill. Like, it takes me 40 minutes to do a 5K on the treadmill, and a 5K is 3.1 miles. It is pathetically small. But when a biker is like, "Oh yeah, 20 miles on a Saturday afternoon," that just blows my mind. And he's like, "Yeah, it was an hour and a half or something, like really minimal or something." Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean?
Yep.
Well, I mean, you go faster on a bike than you do running
Of course,
anyway, right? Yeah,
of course.
Of course, it'd be like less time. But.
Yeah, and we changed our paths a couple times in the beginning. It's always every year we try to refine a little better to have less hills. In the beginning, we had some real steep hills that we were going through, and people were like, "Wow, this is a long trip." And so we, throughout the years and all the locations now, we've refined it where some of our locations are literally on bike trails, others are on back roads, but it's very leisurely. So,
It's good that you're keeping it off the major roads. And nothing annoys me more than when I'm driving and there's like 30 people on bicycles in front of me, and I'm like, please, why?
Yep.
Why me?
Yep.
Yes, why me is exactly what I mean.
Right, because it's like Frogger almost in reverse. Like you really pray to God you don't hit one of them, and one of them doesn't like lose their balance and like knock
You
into
never
you.
hit them, but it winds up slowing you down so considerably.
Yeah.
Because I just told you that you go so much faster on the bike, but you go so much slower than in your car.
Of course.
So, I've never understood that. Like, we have bike trails,
Right.
we have back roads,
Right.
for a reason.
Get off the
Sidewalks.
road.
Get off the road.
Oh my God, you know who you sound like?
Who?
Me at the gym with the resolutioners.
No,
Just
that's
get out of
totally
my
different.
way.
That's totally different.
No, it's not.
It's totally different.
No, it's not. Except the world is your oyster. You're like, get off the roads, bikers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's no. I'm not even going to get into this. It's totally different.
All right.
All right. So, do you guys own the vineyards that you bring people to?
Nope. So we own the bikes. We have, our tour guides there, but we take them from one vineyard to the next, and we partner with them. So it's more of a partnership where we're bringing them there and having people realize that, wow, there's actually some good wine in New Jersey. Believe it or not.
Do you cut the vineyards in? Is it enough that you're bringing people to patron them, or
No.
do you ever get any kind of kickback from them like that?
No, it's a good partnership because we're paying for them to be there. We're paying for their wine, and then hopefully the goal being is that people find that there's some really good wine out there, and in turn they're purchasing wine there.
Yeah.
And part of it is just getting the awareness. So I'll ask you guys, how many wineries do you think are in the state of New Jersey? If you had to guess,
6?
6.
I
What
would
do
say
you think, Kate?
maybe 10.
Over 40.
That's crazy.
So there's 40. I think the number is like 47 wineries, and so to that point, we want to have people just be aware that, wow, there's some good wine here, and this is one way to explore it, and actually try some of the wine and come back and maybe say, wow, I'm going to come back to this winery now.
Or buy a case of something that they love.
Right.
Yeah.
And now with online, people can go online and purchase wine. So it's just a good way to get exposure to the wineries and have them try something new.
I guess that's one of the cool things you don't think about with New Jersey. Like, there's just you never think about what you can do, but there's always a ton of stuff that you don't know about. That's like, I didn't know there were 40 wineries in New Jersey.
Yeah, I would never have known that.
It's good that we have this show.
It's really a community service.
Yes,
what we
we're
do.
doing
And a lot of these vineyards too. I mean, they have other events there, right? They'll do sometimes. There's always weddings there or food truck events, and it's cool setup. I mean, some of the vineyards that we go to, when you go there, you think you're in Napa Valley. I mean, tons of acres. You're in beautiful landscapes, and it's like, yeah, this is in New Jersey, believe it or not.
Is there a wine that New Jersey is known for, like California Chardonnay? Do you know what I mean? Or Australia Sauvignon Blanc? Is there a wine that we're known for?
There's a wide grapes that are grown in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, like Chamberson is a widely grown grape. But Cabernet, I mean, a lot of the varietals, the different types of grapes, the vineyards will grow, and a lot of times they'll get them from different parts of the areas too and make their own. So
So you mentioned, like you're standing in one vineyard, you don't know you're not somewhere else. The first thing I thought of when you said that is, all right, so is there a vast difference from one to the other? Like, am I getting a different experience at each of these vineyards that makes it worth it for me to bicycle from one to the next rather than spending the day?
It's a great question. So yeah, absolutely. So what we do in all locations is, in one of the vineyards, we'll get a behind-the-scenes tour. How is wine made? Literally from when you're planting the seed until that wine's actually in the bottle. So everything from the wine going into all the different machines, to taking the wine out, destemming the wine and whatnot, to then bottling it and going through the whole process. But that's on one winery. So you get the behind-the-scenes tour. And the second winery is, we're going to explore the grounds. We'll do some trivia on the tour. It's more of letting our tour guides embrace the group and have a good time, so that we don't do another tour of how the wine's being made. So every location we have that kind of mix where one, you're getting a behind-the-scenes tour, and then the next vineyard you're getting more of the tour guides putting on some fun facts, trivia, a little bit more engaging.
And is the wine generally pretty different from place to place too?
Yeah, believe it or not. I mean, we sample a fair amount of wines, red and whites from different wineries, so you get a good variety. And then you can, of course, while you're there, purchase the wine. We, put it in the support vehicle for you. But yeah, you can get a really good variety, and I think it surprises a lot of people. Most people don't realize that you can have good wine in New Jersey. You just got to find it, like anything else.
Yeah.
Is there a place you'd recommend, or is that, they're all equal, kind of, you don't want to put one over?
Like children, you love them all equally,
yeah,
right?
we love our partners. I mean, it depends. When people ask me that question, I say, if they're more red wine drinkers or white wine. But I mean, I'm a big wine fan myself, so I really couldn't say one in particular. They all have their unique characteristics, and so sort of the cop-out answer. But
all right, I got a different angle for it then.
Please.
For you. All right, so a few episodes on this show, you were talking about how you could get a great bottle of wine pretty cheap, in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Do you have a recommendation for something like that? Like if one of our listeners didn't want to drop $500 on a bottle of wine, but wanted, something good.
New Jersey wine for...
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be made here, but buy it here, like
Okay.
that.
Well, and you'd be surprised too, because some of the vineyards, they'll get grapes from different parts of the country as well, and they'll have their own grapes that they make. But in addition, they can
like a blended red.
Yep. And so, but yeah, you can find all sorts of deals. I mean, I wouldn't say there's one in particular that you're going to find a great. I mean, off the top of my head, Unionville Vineyards is fantastic, in the Ringos location, Old York Cellars, but I really can't pick one. I mean, down in Cape May, Hawkhaven wineries, they're phenomenal. You'll find at all the vineyards a wide range. You can find your $10 bottles to, and up. And what I always tell people is, it's subjective to your taste. Cost doesn't necessarily indicative of a great bottle of wine. You can find great wine for $10, $15.
Totally.
I mean, majority, most wine purchased is under $20 a bottle, believe it or not.
And are all the vineyards on your tour grapes? Because one of our members actually, Melavino, we met them at Made New Jersey Day a couple years back. They make wine out of honey.
Mead.
So mead. Yeah. So I didn't even realize that was a thing, that you could make wine out of other stuff. But,
Yeah, so that's a good question. So on the New Egypt tour, we go between Cream Ridge Winery and Loretta, and Cream Ridge is known for, they make a lot of different fruit wine. So they'll have blueberry wine,
raspberry.
key wine, raspberry. Because if you think about it, wine is essentially a fruit that after you go through the process and you through alcohol and fermenting it, you get wine. So they've made key wine, blueberry wine. So
I want the address to that place.
yeah,
I'd actually be willing to try blueberry wine. That sounds really good.
My
Or
dad,
raspberry, yeah.
my dad makes raspberry wine, and it is unbelievable.
Huh.
Unbelievable.
Can you do it with a strawberry? That sounds really cool.
I'm sure.
oh yeah, they come up with all
Any kind of
different-
fruit.
Actually, Kate and I were recently on a foodie podcast. Shout out to Fat Girl Chronicles,
Vicky!
promoting this show.
Yeah.
And we learned about cotton candy grapes on that. And
Yeah, forgot
would that
about
not
that.
be amazing to make wine?
There is
with?
a thing that they have pollinated grapes to taste like cotton candy.
Heard
Can
of
you
that.
imagine that as a wine?
I couldn't. That's probably tastes amazing.
I know,
Probably
right?
does.
Well, they have a wine at Loretta Winery where it's a white-based it's a chocolate wine. It's called Chocolate Therapy.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of it. And
I have.
It's almost like a either Frangelico or a Kahlua. It's a creamy, almost like an after dinner.
Yeah.
And it's decent alcohol content as well. I think it's over 14%. But it's a smooth. You wouldn't think it's wine. It's almost like a Kahlua cream, but it's grape based and it's tasty.
You know what I recently learned to love as well? Port. Yeah. Have you ever had like a raspberry port? It's like thick. You can almost pour it over ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the alcohol content is up. You can't you need to sip it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is delicious.
You need to sip it except for when you're shoveling in your mouth on top of ice cream.
Basically.
Basically.
Yeah, as an ice cream topping, it is tip top.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so today's icebreaker is, if you could go back in time to any period in history, what would you pick and why? And let me preface this by saying, picture like a Doctor Who episode where nobody's gonna die. Like
Right.
you're not gonna go back to, I'm not gonna go back to like the Salem witch trials and then be tried as a witch and die. Like there's no inherent danger. There's no inherent danger. So bear that in mind.
And you can't change anything, right?
Right. You can't change anything. So this isn't the would you go back in time and kill Hitler question.
Right.
But you can't do that anyway, because then you'd grow up in a period where he didn't exist and you wouldn't care, so you wouldn't go back in time and kill him anyway.
So
yeah, it's a whole paradox. I watched too many times.
oh my God, seriously. Vinny's favorite movie is Back to the Future. And so every time time travel comes up, he's got like this very logical, thought out reply. And you're just like, that's not what I wanted from you right now.
But
all right.
Where would you go?
So where would I go?
Yeah.
I think I would go
Or when
back.
would you go?
When? I think I would go back to the Renaissance because that was such an interesting period of art and education and learning and language and food and wine. I think that would be really fun. Renaissance Italy. Yeah, I think that could be amazing. Yeah, just so many interesting political players. Henry VIII, the De Medicis, Florence. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah.
What about yourself?
Yeah, what about you?
So I'm kind of torn between two things, because one is a lot less, none of this is practical, but one's a lot less practical than the other.
Wow.
I'd like to go back just before the Big Bang and see it happen, and know like what came before, and just like see that all play out.
So you're really embracing the not dying loophole.
Not dying, right?
Because there's no atmosphere
There's no
to
way
breathe.
you survive that. Well, even not put aside the atmosphere for a second, just the explosion.
Oh, I didn't even think about the explosion. Yeah, it was a bang for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that there's that, and then I'd love to go back and be a pirate.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
No, it's fine. I just think that like I romanticize that whole period so much.
Wow, I'm picturing you with a parrot on your shoulder and an eye patch.
I couldn't do the parrot. I could rock an eye patch though. The parrot would freak me out. Like just having it on my shoulder there, that would really, I wouldn't do well with that. But yeah, I just think it's like really cool. You go around, your whole responsibility is being on the open ocean, and I guess there are bad things you have to plummet or plunder other ships and all that. But
you'd have to rob and murder other people.
Yeah, but it was okay then, right? Like
morally? I mean, it was legal, but was it morally okay?
Probably not.
No.
I'm just saying, like...
And actually, it wasn't
I'm not
legal
saying
either.
it probably wasn't legal.
No, that's why they're called pirates.
It was something that you did. Like, it was something that people did in that time period. Like, how we choose to go to work every day and, do that for a living. That was, like, a perfectly reasonable way to make a living back then.
And you could be on the other side and going after the pirates.
There you go.
No, that's not as fun.
No?
They don't make movies about the people who go after pirates.
I was just going to say...
Those people are always the bad guys.
Yes. Like, what are they even called? Pirate hunters?
The English.
The English. Right? Yes, you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
One too many Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Lou, what about you?
Yeah, on the spot. I don't know. I'd say partly maybe because of my son, and his obsession with dinosaurs. I would say like being around to see these like creatures, like now reading like, teaching like my son about like the prehistoric age and all different types of dinosaurs, and he tells me more than I know now about dinosaurs. Right. But just to see like as we look around and see like big skyscrapers and stuff, to know that there was these huge massive animals coming through. Like I think it would be pretty cool to be around that, at some period. But from a walking around, living, breathing, I would say probably maybe the 50s. The time period where things were simple. I mean, I think, as of recently, I find in different capacities, we get caught up in technology. And it can be a great thing in many aspects, but in many times it can be a hindrance. Mm-hmm. And so my wife and I have this conversation all the time, and she's a big proponent of like the simple times where, if you said you were going to be somewhere sometime, you were. You just showed up. When kids got together, they just were at the park. And so maybe it'd be cool to, in my opinion, kind of go back to where it was simple, like kind of when I was growing up and you just knew everyone was hanging out at this ballpark. So it'd be nice to kind of see that just as sort of like a back to somewhat reality, I guess. But we have the new reality where everyone's connected in 5 different ways.
Yeah, and it can
not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just different.
But it can be a bit of a distraction too. Like I remember fondly, the rule was that you had to be home when the arc lights turned on.
Right.
And if you weren't, you were in trouble.
Right.
And I like how there is that natural way of saying that because we didn't have necessarily phones that could tell you exactly what time it was.
That's exactly right. And when you made plans with friends, you kept them because there was no way to say, I can't go or I won't be there.
We had the telephone.
No, but like if you were, I don't know, but like if you were on the way, you couldn't just decide, I'm just going to go home or I'm just going to, you kind of had to.
Do you do that? Like you're driving somewhere?
No,
and
I don't.
Like, right.
I don't know.
Once in a while.
I don't know.
But
maybe sometimes. Maybe sometimes. Usually not when I'm already in the car. Like by the time I'm in the car, I've made the commitment to go somewhere. But there are times when I'm on the couch and I'm like, okay, it's make or break. I either have to get up off the couch right now and start getting ready to go, or I need to tell somebody that I'm not going.
I mean, but I'm sure like no matter what time period you think of, like we can romanticize them all we want, but they probably weren't as simple as we think. Like the 50s, I'm sure we were all ducking and covering, because the Cold War was going on and we were all and terrified every day of being killed.
Yeah, and the Korean War. Right? Wasn't the Korean War in the 50s?
Was that the 40s?
No, it was after World War II, and World War II ended in 45. And Vietnam started in 61.
60s,
So Korea would have been the 50s. Yeah. So ducking and covering.
You would have gotten drafted.
Cold War.
And,
Yeah, life was never as
And
simple
then the
as
Jurassic
it
period. I mean, that's got it. We have 4 whole movies about how awful I did that is. You know?
But there's the no dying loophole.
Right, the no dying loop.
That's right.
You know what I've been thinking about lately? Okay, so a lot of times I'll just let my lawn go. And when that happens...
A lot of times?
Yeah, a lot of times.
All the time?
All the time. All the time I just let my lawn
summer.
go. And, I've got weeds in my front lawn that come up to, like, my waist. And I was thinking
In
about,
your
like...
front lawn?
Yeah. It's bad. No, it's definitely bad. I'm not defending it. I'm horrible. I am scum. Okay? But here's the thing. I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, 2, 3, 5,000 years ago, this is how it would have looked.
Yeah.
Like, it would have just been, these weeds.
Not even that long ago. Like Little House on the Prairie, that whole opening montage was
Sure.
just fields that they were running
Yeah.
through.
We didn't have roads.
No.
So, like, put aside dying. You're going to have to trudge through, weeds as tall as your head.
Right.
Just to get anywhere. And I can only imagine the kinds of things that live in those weeds. I mean, you can't die, but you're still going to have bugs on you and stuff.
Oh,
and, like,
God, the mosquitoes.
the mosquitoes and the ticks and everything. Like,
and the
yeah.
snakes.
Yeah, so there's really, and I mean, I can romanticize buried treasure all I want, or, but like, they had scurvy in the pirate days.
Totally.
And, like, people walking around with peg legs. Like,
Yeah.
You can't even get, like, a decent, like, leg substitute. Yeah.
And now that I think about it, Renaissance Italy, the sanitation
The Black
was not
Death?
great.
Well, you
the
wouldn't
Black
die,
Death,
but
yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't
no.
die, but the sanitation, the ladies' room in Renaissance Italy is not the same as it is here.
So maybe we should go into the future.
The future.
Future.
Go the
Back
other
to the future.
direction.
That was actually a really good depiction of the future. I think that's like one of the few movies I can think of where they didn't have like a post-apocalyptic future. It was nice.
It was kind of nice. Although I remember, do you remember when they were like walking past a storefront? It was an antique store, and they were like, "Oh, look at that, dust jackets."
Yeah, and the dust buster. Yeah.
That made me laugh so hard. And then in retrospect, I was like, "Of course we didn't get rid of dust jackets. Dust jackets are great."
Well, there was a lot of stuff in there that I can't even. I'm trying to visualize it, but there was just a lot of stuff that they knew we would never get rid
Right.
of, but they jokingly put it in there.
It was
It's like
great.
this is an antique. Yeah.
Totally. Love it.
All right, so we're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, awful or awesome.
Love it. And we're back, and it's time to play my favorite game, Awful or Awesome. This is a game where I'm going to name 3 things, and then you guys each have to decide very quickly if it is awful or awesome, and you have to defend your answers.
Not just us, you too.
Oh yeah, me too. That's fine. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
All right. So first up is baseball rivalries. So I'm talking like Mets versus Yankees and Yankees versus Red
Red
Sox and I don't even know any other ones.
Philadelphia fans versus everybody.
The rest of the country.
Yeah, baseball rivalries. So any thoughts on those?
I'd say awesome. As a diehard Yankee fan, and we even have a buddy of ours that was dating a girl from Boston. We were like, it's not going to work out, and sure enough, it did.
Wow.
Just
Was she a
because-
fan? Was she a baseball
She was a
fan?
big Red Sox fan, and we're like, this isn't going to work. But no, yeah, I think it's great. I mean,
Jeez.
you go to any ballpark during those rivalry games. I mean, it's like, I went to one earlier this year, Yankees Red Sox, and it was like playoff environment. Everyone's cheering, not like the typical beginning of the season.
Sure.
Small. I mean, it was great. So
Everybody's so emotionally invested.
yeah, and it's bragging rights for that next week, month, or whenever.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
All right, good.
I guess I've just never gotten it. I don't know. So even when I was a big sport, I'm from the Bronx, so
Yeah.
I like the Yankees, but
Sure.
I haven't really gotten to follow in a long time. But even when I did, so the last time I was at a Major League Baseball game, I went to go see the Yankees versus the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium.
Right.
And an actual honest-to-goodness riot broke out across the stadium. And I was just like, what the hell is happening?
Thinking a little
I'm
too
not
late.
going to say who cares, but really, like, why?
Right.
Like
Why are people throwing punches right now?
yeah, why?
Yeah.
Like, it-
Yeah, I don't get it either. I'll be
does
honest.
it, in the grand scheme of things, does it matter who wins this game?
Right. Right. It's
Does
like-
it really impact your day that much that you're going to risk an aggravated assault charge?
Seriously. So this is a little off topic, but at Super Bowl time, somebody told me that the Eagles have an actual jail, like a pokey, in the stadium
Of course.
because Eagle fans or Philly fans, I guess.
Philadelphia fans
I
in
mean,
general.
that's crazy to me. That is straight up crazy to me.
Yeah, as of the time we're filming this, I don't even remember. No, so we're a long way away from the next Super Bowl. But in the last Super Bowl, the Eagles won.
They did.
And there was a huge riot all over town. And not even the kind of, like when I said there was a riot at Yankee Stadium, I guess I could see people pushing each other around.
Right.
I'm sure there were some errant punches. They looted. There were like places on fire.
They greased telephone poles.
Yes.
Right, so they wouldn't climb them.
And they did it anyway.
And they did it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't understand that kind of emotional investment in 12 guys who are throwing a ball around wearing tights.
They flipped a car over? Can you imagine if that was your car and you came out the next night and were like, why?
Wait, and didn't you have a conversation with someone here about
Heather.
The riot, about...
Oh, yeah.
They were going to riot whether they won or...
I was talking, shout out to Mike Rooney on our IT staff. We were asking him beforehand, because he's a big Philadelphia fan, whether or not there was going to be a riot if they won. Because, I guess foregone conclusion, they were going to riot if they lost.
Either way.
But, we were just like, what happens if they win? And he was like, oh, they're definitely going to riot. And I was just like, why? Like, why would you riot because you won? Like, that was the thing that really surprised me.
I know.
They were that angry and they won.
It is absolutely crazy. It's like somebody died or something. Like when the King and Queen of France were beheaded during the Revolution and the whole country went crazy. Like, who riots when you win? But anyway, what did Heather say? Shout out to Heather Hansberry.
Heather was talking about, I think, like, the next day she put something on Facebook about how the Philadelphia fans were fine after all. And I was like, what are you talking about? I saw a video on YouTube where 30 people got on top of an awning attached to a hotel and it collapsed.
Of course it broke. Of course it collapsed. There's 30 people standing on an awning.
I guess I just don't get it. Like, I guess you can be passionate about something, but what is it about a sports team winning that caused just martial law to break out in one of the biggest cities in America?
I mean, does the insurance coverage
Can you imagine?
I mean, you're the owner of the hotel and you're calling MetLife on Monday. Yeah, I need the awning. Please check. 30 people stood.
I need Philadelphia sports team 1 insurance.
I'm sorry. Okay, next. Golf TV. Golf TV. You play golf, right?
I do. I'm getting into it more, so can you get it in the middle? No, you got to say right up
Awful or awesome? Yeah. Okay, so
one or the other.
I originally, like, when you go to a bar or something and there's a whole bunch of TVs on the wall and Golf TV is one of them, I used to just be like, oh my God, shoot me now. This is horrendous. I hate it. But then I started to play golf. And so I would be sort of casually watching it and watching guys, making putts that I couldn't make.
Right.
And it's sunny and warm
leagues.
and beautiful. Right, exactly. They're good. They're actually good at it. That's why they're on TV.
Right.
And it would be sunny and warm. It's like Myrtle Beach or something. And, it's Jersey here. It's cold or whatever. And I'd be like, no, but that was really interesting, the way that he's standing or whatever. And like all of a sudden people around me were like, really, Kate? What is your deal? What is the problem here?
You're sitting there critiquing, like, I would have gone with the 5-iron.
Oh my God. So yeah, that was a 20-foot putt. I'm really impressed. I couldn't have done it. Anyway. So yeah, I kind of think it's awesome, but I realize that I'm totally in the minority.
I mean, I'd agree with you. I mean, if I don't lean, I'd say awesome. I mean, it's funny. I mean, if 2 boys, 4-year-old and a 3-year-old, my 3-year-old, you can put on cartoons. He might like it, might not. Put on golf. He's laser focused on it.
Golf
I'm like,
TV.
Wow. I'm like, all right, maybe we have something here. But,
that's amazing.
As far as like a golfer or player, but yeah, no, I'm starting to get into it more.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
All right, Ben, I think I know your answer.
Yeah, I'm going to go with awful. I mean, to be honest, I don't have like that much of an opinion. I don't think I've ever watched golf TV, so it's kind of like when we did the Hamilton thing. And I said, like, I don't know. I guess in this case, I've never watched golf TV, so I shouldn't have an opinion about it one way or the other.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say golf TV, and so you have to. I mean, if somebody.
Actually, here at NJBIA, we made a video promoting golf. I was going to say Golf and Tennis Day. It used to be Golf and Tennis Day. Now it's just Golf Day. We made a video promoting Golf Day where we kind of parodied the sort of commercials for golf TV that we see. Kate actually was gracious enough to act in it.
I was in the commercial.
If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll throw up a little bit of like B-roll from that commercial. But we were kind of playing up a lot of the cliches, like, looking up really intense and, dropping the tennis ball and all that.
It was really funny. It was fun to do.
Yeah, it was fun to do because, I mean, I'm not going to say we were making fun of golf, but we were kind of playing into a lot of the cliches.
It was very gentle fun making.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, last one. Amusement parks. So like Great Adventure or in Minnesota Valley Fair. spent many times.
Valley Fair.
Valley Fair.
Is that a big one?
It's big enough. It's like the only amusement park.
All right, let's use Great Adventure and Disney World as sort of our base for comparison.
Well, I've never been to either.
Really?
Oh.
Really?
Good for you.
Right. Yeah, I'm proud of it, actually.
You should be.
I know. I'm very proud of it. Never been.
Yeah, I don't know. My grandparents have lived in Florida since I was like 4. So every family vacation we took was to Orlando. So I've been to like...
Poor you.
It's great at first, and then you kind of get over it real quick. I was the only one in my family that got over it. And everybody else was super excited to go to Disney and Universal for like the 14th time each. And then I got married, and my wife is super into that stuff too. So, and then not only them, but my brother, my friends, they all love Great Adventure. So we've been there countless times. I've probably been on every ride there like 6, 7 times. And I'm just like, I'm so over it. Because Great Adventure is a New Jersey business, I'm going to say, for somebody like you who hasn't been there, a day out there with your friends is actually going to be really fun.
Okay.
It's just what I'm saying is like when you get to the point where you're there like 40th, 50th time, you know, it's time to move on and go other places. At Universal Studios, they have the Back to the Future train from Part 3. And, you know, I'm a huge fan.
I know.
So when I was a kid, my brother and I took a photo in front of it. And we do it every time we go. And so when the last time we went to see my grandparents and go out there, my brother posted a montage. Shout out to Michael Civizola. Posted a montage of all the times that we had been in front of it. And I was like, I realize you think this is cool. This is a visual display of how we need to go other places and do other things.
That's pretty funny. So I kind of have to say awful because I'm the kid who would fill up on all of the junk food and then go on a ride and just puke my guts out all over the person sitting next to me usually. So I've been on the Tilt-A-Whirl puking more times than I've been on the Tilt-A-Whirl not puking. So
wow.
I know. So I kind of hate them.
What is the Tilt-A-Whirl? Like, describe, because everybody's got all the same rides. So
all right, so you're sitting in like a big chair, and it goes in a circle, and it spins in a circle while it goes
Within
in
a circle.
It's
Yeah.
like,
So the
it's like,
teacups.
yeah, I guess so. It's like a solar system thing.
All right,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't really do well at like Great Adventure where you
That's
got
exactly
like, the roller
my point.
coasters. And,
I can't do the roller
Because
coasters.
the teacups is sort of like our preteen kind of like, you know, I'm not going to say baby ride, but like, yeah.
Can't do it.
You just wouldn't do well.
Can't do it.
I would say
No.
that some of the amusement parks, I mean, they're getting more advanced now with these like 3 or 4D type rides. Have you guys ever
Oh
been
my
on
God.
those? There was
Have I ever?
I forget the one. It was in Florida, though. I'm talking about Florida, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. Where you're sitting on, you know, basically, I forget the Avatar. That was
Avatar.
it. That was the ride, and it was cool. I mean, you're literally sitting on the back of the Avatar, like if you've seen the movie, and it's cool. So you got
Wait. Tom, you haven't seen Avatar?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
I know. I need to get out more.
So, well, this ride, it's cool. You're literally sitting on this back of that. So picture like a huge dragon, right?
All
So
right.
you get the wind blowing at you, but it's moving, so you feel the momentum, and you truly feel like you're on it. So you're enclosed, you're not outside.
So it's 4D though. So are you like in a movie theater sitting on a chair watching
you're
this happen
sitting
and
on
the
this-
chair is moving?
The chair's moving.
That's
You're
cool.
feeling the wind blow,
I've
and then
done-
as
yes.
you get towards the water splash. So like those rides, I think are pretty cool.
I agree. At Mall of America in Minnesota, they've got a ride like that, and I love it. It is so safe and perfect and beautiful. And every once in a while, it makes me nauseous, but not usually.
I don't think you
Then
can
you know
throw
what you
up
got to check out is the Harry Potter world in Universal because they've got like 2 or 3 of them like that. You go through
Yeah.
Hogwarts and you're wearing the 3D glasses and stuff comes out at you like Bellatrix
Nice.
comes and tries to knock you off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the Harry Potter world in Universal is so detailed. They started making that before it appeared. Like a lot of that stuff appeared in the movies. So they based the movies on a lot of the Universal Studios sets and not the other way around. That's how detailed that place is. It's amazing. That's like the new golden standard.
That's amazing. Yeah, I need to go there.
Especially since you're a fan.
I know.
Yeah, I wound up going with my brother, and my wife is like an uber Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
She's a Potterhead.
Yeah, and I could really, I mean, I've seen the movies. They were all
As
right.
am I, no judgment. Yeah, the movies are just so not as good as the books.
Well, I haven't read the books. That's the thing. Like, I've seen each movie like a couple times, but haven't really like dove into it that much. So I went and she didn't, and she still holds that over me to this day.
Sure,
Yeah.
as well she should.
Yeah, she's really angry about it. So,
You gotta take her.
I guess one more trip out to, yeah.
Bite the bullet. Just do the right thing.
We were going to go out. My brother is going to get married, and it was going to be in Disney World, and now he moved it to Disneyland because he's obsessed. So, yeah, hopefully they have a Harry Potter thing out there, we can go and do that. Yeah.
That's hilarious. And so is Chloe going to that?
No, we're going to have to lie. Because Chloe, my daughter, will be, I guess, 2
Yeah.
when we go out there.
Two-ish.
So she's like, I guess just maybe at that age where you do know what Disney is. And
Right.
you just went through this,
Yeah.
right? So what would you say, 2? Like,
She gonna know? Is she gonna be jealous?
She might, it
she just
depends.
seems young at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you bring her back a T-shirt and be like, "Hey, we got this at the airport."
I don't even know if I'd do that. But maybe just like there was no Disney at all.
Right?
you know?
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Hopefully she just
don't
doesn't
mention
get
it.
into that stuff then. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess that's up to me, right?
You could be like, "Oh, we had to go to Anaheim."
Yeah, exactly. Anaheim.
Make it sound really
Such a boring
I
place
know.
to go.
It's oranges and that's it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's a small little town.
Right? Exactly. MBT.
All right, is there anything coming up that you guys want to promote?
We do. We did in January. We did a wine and food festival at the Nassau Coliseum, and we had about 2,500 people there. A lot of entrepreneurs, business owners from, people that have got scallops, fish, grilled cheese, you name it, all
Wow.
different types of food, restaurants. So we are going to be continuing doing that fine wine and food festival, and that's partnered through Pour and Paddle and another company of ours, Coyote Events. That's going to be going on probably January, February. You can find out more information on that on our website, the main website, which is pourandpaddle.com. And as far as our events, we're going to be running our tours throughout the season, between Cape May, Ringos, Egypt, and then in the Hamptons and North Fork. And
Are your events all private, or if I and a friend just wanted to tag along on another group, is that possible?
yeah, great question. Absolutely. Literally, once you go on the website, you'll find all the dates, all the locations, and it'll tell you how many seats are available for the location. So then, literally, Friday before you wanted to go for the next day, if there's
Sure.
2 seats available, you guys sign up and hop on the tour.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so easy. I love it.
Cool.
All right.
Let's just say somebody wants to get a hold of you, find out more about the company, or sign up for one of these things. How do they go about that?
Sure. So you could go literally on the website. It's www.pourandpaddle.com, or you can send us an email at info@pourandpaddle.com. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and thank you guys for having me on the, on the
Gosh,
show.
it was
no,
a
it was our-
pleasure.
yeah,
That was
our
really
pleasure.
fun. Yeah. All right, I think that's our show.
That's our show.
Thanks to subscribers and listeners. We really appreciate the support. Thank you to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, the official sponsor of the show.
Yes, thank you, NJM.
If you need coverage, check them out. And thank you, Lou DeMartino. We appreciate
Thank you,
having
guys.
you here.
You're
Check
welcome.
out pourandpaddle.com.
Absolutely.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.